Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. With me, I have Vice Mayor Pastor and Councilwoman Stark, and we are going to take an item out of order right from the get-go, item 10. So if staff could come up and give a short presentation, and then I have a card I will have speak.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, item 10 is a discussion and recommendation on policy for public notifications when street or right-of-way construction will be occurring in off hours, which is nights, weekends, or holidays. I want to thank Councilwoman Stark for requesting that this item be added to the agenda, and Chairwoman Williams, thank you for placing it on the agenda so quickly. Recently, when a large sign pole structure went up at 7th Avenue and Vista, some gaps in the street department's public involvement policies came to light.
You're generous.
The gap in the policies resulted in city residents being surprised and not happy at all about a new large pole structure that had been installed overnight near their homes. None of the residents nor our mayor and council should have been surprised. So we're working to fix that and ensure it does not happen again. One aspect is the larger issue about how and when the city involves the community in decisions about things like design and location for approved new structures or equipment that's installed in the right-of-way, especially near residential areas. The Street Transportation Department is taking a full evaluation on the overall policies in place, and we'll be bringing back a recommendation to this subcommittee in the very near future about the overall policies. The other aspect, though, is a specific policy issue being discussed today, which is after a particular project is planned for a certain area, following an appropriate public process, and when circumstances dictate that the project be done during night hours or over a weekend or a holiday, the way we notify the community and residents near that construction activity. So Maria Hyatt and Keeney Knutson from the Street Transportation Department are here to discuss the item in more detail and outline staff's recommendation. Maria?
Thank you. Chairwoman Pastor, members of the subcommittee, in many ways, this picture says why we do work on weekends, on holidays, on after hours. We've got construction taking out a lane. We've got people who need to get to work or go home from work, and they're stuck in this type of traffic. And so we really try and evaluate what work will do best on those hours so that we can not impact the community and the public. And I said community and the public on that one. So what we know is that we need to do this work, but what we have found is that we've had gaps. Significant gaps in how we've communicated that. So we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through the process, the policy. So current policies, there are quite a few of them that we follow. There's city code that tells us how we can work after hours. We have traffic barricade manual that tells us how things need to be set up and how we need to work to minimize disruptions to traffic as well as to the community. And we have the Maricopa Association of Government standards that also must be met by construction happening in the right-of-way, which can be streets, it can be the Water Services Department, it can be planning and development with their developers who are doing work adjacent to, for their projects in the private property, and it certainly can be the utility contractors. So our current process, when we looked at this, what we found is that we have a problem. I know. So we'll just say it right out. We have a problem. We fully understand that we have a problem. We are in silos. We have multiple divisions, multiple contractors. We have so many people, different people working, and we have all different rules or no rules, and we need to address that immediately. So when we looked at how what is working, we know that, and thank you, Councilwoman Stark, for also guiding us in that direction too, is that planning and development has a very well laid out process that has been developed over the years, and it involves application that must be reviewed by one entity. It requires council notification, and then it must require a permit. And then any work that is excessive noise or other disruptions, if we get a complaint, then we need to assess that to see if there's any way to mitigate it and go forward with it. So based on our evaluation of our current policies or lack of policies, what we do know, maybe I did something, so I apologize. What we do know is that that process works and has a very solid starting base for how we do work within the right-of-way. So I can talk, which is easy. So what we're looking at is we're proposing a new policy for right-of-way after-hours only work right now. So we know we need to come back and talk about work that happens during the day. But at this point right now, to start off this discussion, we're going to look solely at the after-hours. So that's weekends, holidays, and nights. What we're looking at is a centralized review process. So one deputy director in our department would be the one who gets the applications. Because what we can then do is make sure that we don't have overlap. You know, a utility contractor wants to do something where a streets contractor needs to also do it, and we'll have it in separate areas on the same street. We need to be able to know what's going on and have that approval. Then we can also then make sure that the council office knows what is planned in that area. And then the most important piece also is that public notification. So the last time for a major project, like the ones on the 7th, the last time the community should have heard about it is not, I mean, the first time they heard about it should never have been when the construction happens. So there needs to be multiple opportunities for that discussion and review of that construction, planned construction, prior to construction starting. So public notification at a minimum within 500 feet around the project. That's door hangers, flyers, knock and talk. If it's a school, we can also make sure that we work through a school like the South Mountain Freeway has done very effectively with making sure that for major projects that there is notification, because Lord knows we know as a lot of us are parents, you know, kids bring out the flyer and give it to you. You catch it there. You may not catch it at your in your mailbox. But furthermore, we believe that by having this notification in a multitude of ways for a large project, next door is another opportunity. We know that our communities are listening to that. Any opportunity we can to make sure that prior to this happening, the construction happening, we are notifying the community of that impact and giving them an opportunity to know where they can call for any concerns. But giving their feedback is important to us. So that issuance of a permit for the right-of-way will be a formalized process, and this helps us make sure that there's consistency throughout our process. So it's not that silo any longer of one division doing something different or a utility company doing something different than a water department doing. So we would have that consistency. So as we look at how we would put together a new policy, we need to go meet with the stakeholders. So we can certainly control what happens in street transportation department, but there are many entities that are working within the right-of-way. And so making sure that we are doing that outreach to those stakeholders, which is the utility companies, it's the other water departments. But what I failed to include on here is the public. So the public is also a stakeholder. Our thought here is that we go and meet with these stakeholders first and get some guidelines that we can then take out to the community and talk about and get their feedback before we then present it back to the subcommittee in a couple of months with what our proposed policy is and what feedback we received from our stakeholders and the community. So our next steps are to we've already implemented the policy changes for streets. You will have gotten notification of any planned projects already within the right-of-way. It's not to the full policy, but it is notification to make sure that your offices know and that the community knows. We're going to be requesting your approval subcommittee approval to move forward with the stakeholder outreach. And then we return, and my guess March might be premature. April is probably a better time frame in making sure that we have that opportunity to do that full stakeholder outreach, including the community, and come back for your feedback and approval of the final policy before returning to going to the full city council. And I kept it brief because I know that there's going to be quite a few comments, and we're here to learn and listen and determined to do better.
So we're splitting it into two.
Correct.
Today is the immediate need on changing the policy so it's coordinated and it goes through a person,
Yes.
and that the public is notified and has the opportunity to participate if needed, if they have big objections. Then the second one is a more complete policy, coordinated so that we have all street interruptions or, whoops. Thought you were going out the window there for a minute. And you'll bring that back in late March, April.
Madam Chair, that is our plan.
Okay. And we do have a card. Do you have any questions first? All right, then Jim Drake. And thank you for coming down this morning.
Good morning, Vice Mayor Pastor, Councilwoman Williams, Stark, and Councilman Valenzuela. Thank you very much for listening to our neighborhood.
Everything's falling apart today.
We're having a little technical difficulties this morning, it seems like.
For the record, my name is Jim Drake, Councilwoman Pastor, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you very much for hearing us and listening to our neighborhoods. I've been a Phoenix resident for 40 years, lived in Willow for a number of years, been up in North Central Phoenix for about 20 now. I'm here to talk today about item number 10 and the policy. And the way I think I signed in opposed to the policy as it's currently written, but we're excited to maybe work with Streets and Transportation to maybe flesh it out a little more. The way I see it, I see three problems with the current policy in there right now. On pages 44 and 45, you'll see that it talks about residents near the work site should be notified, but there is the policy is wholly devoid of details. And I think you need some sort of an amendment in there that would say the notification must be meaningful with design details, an engineering drawing if available, and a no fewer than a 150-word description. Because simply saying notification without fleshing that out doesn't really inform the community adequately. I also noticed that on page 46 it talks about outreach. But it only talks about stakeholders in terms of construction, and it doesn't talk about communities. And the City of Phoenix, the website itself has pages and pages and pages of community organizations and maps and districts, and it doesn't seem like a long stretch to include those folks in any sort of notification. And then finally, and I think you already brought it up a little bit, there needs to be some sort of internal review. That the home in the background, and there's a resident here today, that's about a 4,000-foot ranch-style home, and that's actually to scale. So the sign was enormous. It was quite a surprise. And the fact that this got from the design phase to the construction phase internally, it seems to be a real head-scratcher. So to recap, I think there's three communication issues. One, to the community. Two, internally between Streets and Transportation and the City Council members who approve this. And I stand for questions, and thank you very much for listening to us. And more importantly, thank you for taking it down in about 48 hours. That was fantastic.
Questions? Go
I
ahead.
have one question.
Vice Mayor?
Where the sign is at, was the,
Could you hold that up,
was the,
please? Thank you.
the resident notified that that sign was going to go right up in front of their home?
I don't know. I'm 4 doors away.
Okay.
Mr. Abernathy, were you notified?
Okay.
We don't
thank
believe
you.
so.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Was that a hawk or?
No, it's
not
it's a year ago, we talked
I know
about
we-
these signs, and it was to help move traffic. And then, truthfully, we didn't hear much afterwards until all at once. Councilwoman comes in and said they put them up, kept people up all night. And we went, oh, we had no idea what they looked like, the dimensions, or where they were going. So I'm very glad that, not that it happened, but the result, I think, is going to really improve the process, because we do want to move traffic in the city of Phoenix. We want to keep the flow going, make it more convenient for those who live in the central city, and give them options on how to get to work quicker. However, it needs to have community input, not only just the stakeholders, which I think is more the second part of what you're going to bring back to us than what we're talking about today, because today is mainly where you can put these signs in, and the public process and the internal process before they go up. that it has to go in a coordinated effort to one person, then out to council, as well as have community meetings so that there is real input into where these are going. And I, for one, believe they should be only near commercial. They should not be next to residential. And so you're going to be hearing more about this. This is just the first baby step to make sure it doesn't happen again until we get the whole policy right. Councilwoman?
Yeah, I would just suggest when you notify the council office, you also notify the mayor's office. In this case, the mayor lives pretty close to this sign. I think these are his neighbors, so, but I do think the mayor's office also needs to know as well as the council office.
See, I make the assumption he's just part of the council.
Oh, he thinks he's the mayor. No, he
Mayor?
is, he's the mayor.
I'm not going to make any comments on that. And my question is, how will you guys work then with planning and development? Because planning and development has a solid process, and many different things come through planning and development for permitting. And so I'm just trying to understand, is this going to be the process like the extended construction permitting that we receive? And then at that moment, we can determine, or I actually have the opportunity at that moment to determine, knowing the area and the impact, to say, yes, I approve this extended hours, or no, I don't approve it. So I just want to know how you're going to work with the collective, because it's not just planning and development, it's streets, it's water. And my impression was, I think 2 years ago, that that's what was happening. And so now I'm kind of like, okay, it's not happening, or we just had a glitch. So those are several of my questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Mayor Pastor. The planning department's process for that notification is well-established and works. And we would like to use that as the basis. It is slightly different since it is for private property work for after hours. So we need to modify it to make sure that it reflects the right-of-way work. But that is definitely the starting point, because again, we know it works. We know it works with the community. It works with your offices and the mayor's office.
It wouldn't necessarily go through the planning department, though. You're just picking theirs, adapting it.
Correct, we're stealing
For you to
something that
use.
really works
Okay.
versus starting from scratch.
But I guess where I'm going is, how then does that overlap with all the other different processes that happen? Because I was under the impression that we were, and maybe it's not necessarily that we were outlining with our partners, our stakeholders too, where are you going to go in, like say, I'm going to say Cox, where are you going to go in and do this? Do we have to do infrastructure and water in here? Do we have to do, and I don't know if I'm wrong or incorrect, or am I getting I may be another different committee that I'm speaking of, but that was my impression, that all departments were coming together to really look at the master plan of what was happening within our city.
Yes, Vice Mayor, and that's really what this next step is going to be, is talking to not only those stakeholders that we showed up there, but really the internal departments to the city, water department, public works department sometimes has projects that are similar. And so we just want to make sure all those silos are broken down and we've got all the consistent processes that reflect the best process available.
Can I ask one
Yes,
more?
go ahead.
So, because this is affecting the sevens, and it's affecting some of our major streets. Right now, streets are being shut down or moving to one lane at high peak for curbing, and for right now, streets were shut. I'll use Thomas since I operate on Thomas. About 2 months ago, streets were shut down to one lane for all the curbing that was happening. Now the streets are being shut down for the replacement of all the signage or the light signs and everything. And so that's now being shut down again, once again, to one lane. How does all that come into play, I guess, with not just this, I guess I'm going bigger, but this plays into it. with all the other dynamics that happens within the city?
Madam Chair, Vice Mayor Pastor, that coordination is really in our second step.
Okay.
Because that work typically happens during the day, and it's a much bigger, but this will help give us a solid starting point on the communication piece, both internally and externally, which then we can use to help us develop a process for exactly what you're talking about, Vice Mayor.
Any other comments, Councilman?
Thank you. Well, I want to thank our staff, our city staff, for just owning it and realizing that this is an opportunity to get better. There are a lot of things our staff does incredibly well for the city, and I think we have a world-class city, but we can't continue to grow unless we're honest with ourselves. And when we find these opportunities for improvement, then we have to seize the moment, see them for what they are, work with the community, and so on. I want to thank everyone who actually lives in the neighborhood for coming out. You could be anywhere right now doing what it is that you feel like you should be doing, whether that's work or whatever, but you find yourselves here. So, and I appreciate you being here. I actually live pretty close to this area, just northwest in the Royal Palm neighborhood there. And so, to those who live in the neighborhood, I realize, I'm going to back up. I think a conversation that we were having here, making sure that the council is looped in as well as the mayor, right? And, well, the mayor is part of the council, yes, but so it is one council. I guess where I'm going with this, and we work with city staff, but to those who live in our city, you don't see the difference. The bottom line is, if something is happening in your community, just as what you mentioned, then that apparently must have gone through the process and everyone is on the same page. Now, again, I don't want to take anything from city staff and my colleagues. I think there are a lot of things that have been done incredibly well, and I'm proud of where our city is today and the direction it's going. But if we really want to continue moving our city forward, then we have to be honest with ourselves, and so this is one of those opportunities to do so. What I would ask the neighbors in the area, for your patience, and I appreciate, again, you being here. Let the response be indicative of how the city will work with the community. So the fact that sign was down within 48 hours, and that you're hearing this conversation, and we're getting on the same page, not just internally, but with the community. I hope you leave today knowing that is the indication of how things are truly done in the city. And so, we'll get there together. We'll continue to work together, and we'll arrive to that place. But I want to thank you for being here. And I certainly want to thank our city staff for, I think it's the right approach. This is where we have to improve, and we will do this. And, of course, we have some real champions on the council here. Deborah, I know I got a phone call from Deborah right away, like, okay. So anyway, that said, it's a great conversation.
And it is personal because I live off of 7th Street, and guess where one of these signs was going to go next, so yikes. So I appreciate you guys contacting our office and contacting the mayor. And I think this will be a good process to resolve problems in the future, but thank you for coming down. I move that we approve this process and
Second.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I want to thank you all for coming this morning and your participation, not only now, but in the future. We're going to look for you. You've had the experience. I know you can provide some leadership. I also want everyone to know that the councilwoman is a great communicator. She could start early all night long and all into the next day to let us all know what happened. And I want confirmation from staff that everything's on hold until we do this phase 2.
Madam Chair, everything is on hold until we do phase 2, and which includes all of that, your approval and the community's notification.
Thank you very much. In that case, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for coming down. We're going to go back to the order of the meeting, which is the minutes of January 9th. Do I have anyone have any comments, questions, or a motion?
I move January 9th, 2017 minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have consent items 2 to 5, but I also received a letter from a lady who cannot be here, and if you would please enter that into the record. She is in support of the projects. She's one that suffered a lot of flood damage, and she's very happy that we're moving forward. Okay, items 2 to 5, does anyone have any discussion, questions, motion?
I move items 2 through 5.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6 is information only. Anyone have any questions? No. Item 7, information only from the citizens meeting. Okay. 8 is public transit capital improvement program. This is also for information only. All right, hearing nothing, we will go to 9, which is the 5-year capital improvement program. And this also for information.
I did have a question.
Okay,
On do you remember how we did a list of the 10 streets that we wanted to, and I realize not all of them were going to be in the next 5-year, but are they integrated? I was trying to read it and
Those,
sorry.
Councilwoman Stark, those projects are definitely going to be within the 5-year program, whether they're actually listed at this point. I think Maria is trying to
I'm sorry.
bring Keeney Knutson.
I'm sorry, Keeney.
I'm so sorry, we were following up with our community members.
So on the street CIP, Keeney, for the projects that the council members identified for the additional street pavement maintenance, are those going to be listed specifically in the 5-year CIP?
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, those additional pavement maintenance projects will be not listed separately by location, but we'll be adding those in and incorporating them into the fiscal year 19 budget. We're moving some funds around right now to be able to do that. It's not reflected in our 5-year CIP that's going right now through this.
Okay, thank you. I was a little confused. Thank you.
Sorry, on that. On the CIP, can I get, there are certain projects that I want to make sure get done. And so could you provide me, I'm sure you provided my staff, but could you provide me a list of those items? For example, Grand Canal should have been done by now. I'm not sure I know there was a transition in staff, but by 2019, that money has to be spent. The community is under the impression that it's going to get done quickly because of the funding that we received from SRP and all the other different funding. And so I know it's moving, but it's not moving at the rate that it was told to the community. And so I want to make sure that this gets done.
Vice Mayor, the Grand Canalscape has 2 phases to it. One was the phase that involved the SRP funding, and I think there was a few delays with that piece. The other phase is the Tiger Grant, federal funded phase 2 portion, and that's moving forward as well. So those are progressing and definitely moving forward to be done, and we'll get you an update on the progress of the projects.
This agenda was light, but be prepared for next month because it's going to be long, long, long. We have public comment. I think it's Eric Nelson or Nielsen.
Well, we can do 11. Wait a minute. Or is that just another information item?
Oh, I'm just skipping item 11. That really shortens the meeting. All right, we'll go to item 11.
So item 11 is the Solid Waste Equipment Operator Apprenticeship Program
Oh, how could I
update.
forget this?
And Ginger Spencer, Public Works Director, is here with Felipe Moreno, Deputy Public Works Director, and Dave Matthews from the Deputy Director of Human Resources, along with Jennifer Grandal of Unit 1, and I believe we have a participant of the apprenticeship program. Ginger, I'll let you introduce him.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, thank you for this opportunity to update you on our Solid Waste Equipment Operator, our SWEO apprenticeship program. Mario, thank you for that introduction. We also have joining us one of our apprentices, John Lavelle, and so you'll hear from him later in the presentation as well. But just want to say that this is a partnership between two city departments and our union partner as well with LIUNA, Local 777. And this program is the first of its kind in the nation. So with that, I'll turn it over to the team who's been responsible for implementing this program. Felipe.
Good morning, Madam Subcommittee. As Ginger mentioned, this is truly a partnership with Human Resources, Parks and Recreation, LIUNA, Local 77 to do city apprenticeships. And this was actually done during our last round of labor negotiations. So this was something that LIUNA and the city felt was very important to work on developing and attracting and growing a good skilled workforce and also a diverse workforce representing people that are not visible currently in our ranks. So women, youth, veterans, really targeting and broadening the scope and breadth of who comes in as part of our team. So we were able to memorialize that in an MOU, which the City Council and Mayor voted on and approved, and so we're very proud of that. Our first class actually launched in March of 2017, and they were actually a pilot of internal city staff. And the reason we did that was to ensure that our model was tried and true and works well. And so we wanted to pilot with city staff from all over the city who wanted to learn and get their commercial driver's license, become a solid waste equipment operator. And so because of that, we had 7 apprentices, and they were represented from streets and water and parks and different departments who came in and have learned and grown with the Public Works Department. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dave Matthews, who's going to give a quick overview of what they learned and the program itself.
Good morning, Madam Chair, member of the subcommittees. The apprenticeship program is 12 months in duration and includes both classroom and hands-on training to ensure that the apprentices gain the necessary skills and abilities to successfully complete the entire program. The first phase of the program is employee orientation, which includes a review of city policies as well as expectations for the program. Once orientation is complete, we move on to the commercial driving preparation and training portion of the program. At the end of this phase, all of the apprentices will successfully obtain their commercial driving permit as well as their commercial driver's license. And that's using all city resources and the Employee Driver Training Academy. During months 4 through 12 of the program, we focus more so on job-specific requirements and training, which includes how to safely operate the tools and equipment needed to complete the job, department-specific policies and procedures, solid waste operations, including both side load and bulk trash. And throughout the entire program, we have a strong emphasis on customer service. We also developed the apprenticeship program to include core competency testings throughout the duration for key phases. All of the apprentices must successfully pass this testing to move on to the next phase of the program. So it ensures all the key areas are met, the knowledge is gained, and the skills are proven before we move on in the program. With that, I'll turn it over back to Felipe to discuss the first class of 2018.
All right, so we're proud to update you on our current class of 2018. They've all successfully passed the core competencies that Dave talked about. They successfully earned their commercial driver's license, and they have done very well with learning the solid waste practices, operating safely, efficiently, and providing that excellent customer service that the City of Phoenix is known for. They're set to graduate at the end of this month, February 2018, so we're really proud of them. And they're all out there on their own now. They're doing training routes, so these are dedicated routes for themselves, but they're independently out there picking up the recycling and the green organics and the garbage, and they're doing very well. So we're very proud of this class. And as I said, this is an internal class. This is who they are. So from left to right, I'll kind of just give you a quick overview. So we have Richard Cota, who's in the blue, who's one of our lead trainers, and then apprentice Ernesto Corral, Jermaine Holt, John Lavelle, who's seated here, Willie Herrera, Abel Sanchez, and Rebecca Estrada. And then we have Joey Hochevar, one of our lead trainers, and Ashley Peck, one of our lead trainers as well. So this is just a sample of some of the core team and their apprentice group. And not pictured as Gustavo Sanchez. He wasn't there that day, he was at training. So he was, but he is also part of this class. So we have 7 apprentices, and they're all 7 for 7, ready to graduate. So we're very proud of that. As I mentioned, this was an internal pilot, but we really wanted to do during this year a lot of extensive outreach for our next phase, which is to open this up externally. So as you can see, we've done a lot of extensive outreach with My Brother's Keeper Initiative, Department of Economic Security, our own Human Services Department and their programs with Job Readiness, Arizona at Work, and others, to just name a few of who we really wanted to reach out to again, attract that diverse workforce and the underrepresented group that we have in our SWEO ranks. So our outreach was very successful because, as you can see, we've had over 300 applicants for this next round of apprentices, and we will be doing another class of 7. Interviews are actually set up for tomorrow. Tomorrow and Thursday, there will be a 2-day process for a first round screening, and then the second round will be selected by the apprentice committee made up of LIUNA and city staff. So we are on schedule to have our class of 2019 begin March, middle of March. And so from there, we will start the new crop. And we're very proud of this group. We're very proud of the outreach efforts and all the city staff that really played a role in getting this process together, because it is a huge undertaking to interview and screen and do all of these things to really do the outreach. One of the things we did that was unique and I think really contributed to the outreach efforts is we held 3 informational nights at our Employee Driver Training Academy. So these are opportunities for the people we reached out to come and actually talk to city staff, talk to our apprentices, see the equipment, this is what you're going to be operating, this is what it's all about, and make sure it was for them. And based on that, we still got an overwhelmingly positive response, as you can see with the applicants. So we're very proud of where we are. And with that, I'm actually going to have Jennifer Gondel talk a little bit about the partnership and the apprenticeship concept in and of itself.
And I'll try to speak slowly. Good morning. Oh, sorry. I don't want you to hear me. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Grundle, and I work for LIUNA Local 777. And all of you know me, and I speak very quickly and a lot, so I've written down bullet points this time. Last year, I spoke about the power of apprenticeship, and as you know, I get very excited about this. This is probably the best thing I do in my work, is actually create jobs, which is nice, rather than the day-to-day representation that clearly we do as well, and negotiating contracts, which has been enjoyable here, I should say. But we did speak last year about reaching out to veterans. There's so many that are homeless that come back to this country after they served our country so well, and then they don't have jobs. We talked about women in non-traditional work. As we know, it's a challenge. We now have a public works director in Ginger. Clearly, I helped negotiate this agreement. It has been fun to talk to women in non-traditional work, and Rebecca is one of our apprentices, which is great. It's wonderful. Clearly, John is here. I'm sure is not nervous at all to speak today to you. Maybe a little bit. But we reached out to youth, as we did in San Francisco. And then while we've been working in this program, we did kick it off with all of you last year, we discovered it was the first in the country. So in Phoenix, Arizona, we've established not only the first joint labor management apprenticeship programs in the state and a city, it's also the first in the country. So we're creating jobs. We're getting people so they actually have more of a middle-class lifestyle. They have benefits. They have a pension. They can retire with dignity. They're taught the skills by city staff. It's been wonderful. And then we lead the entire country? I mean, the entire country. I just want to pause on that because Ginger mentioned that, but that is incredible. The first program in the country. The first, right here. I've been talking about it. I talked about it yesterday in the California legislature, which they were really thrilled about that, I'm sure. I just talk about it everywhere because it is so cool that we did it here together. This is the best partnership I have in any of the states I've worked in, and I've worked in most of the states in this country. It has been a great experience, I think, for all of us, and hopefully for the apprentices. You don't have to kiss up, but it's good if you do. Okay. This will be a good time. But it's just been wonderful to see people at work, and now we've reached out. We've talked to so many different agencies. So this group, over 300 people applied. I don't think there's enough jobs in the city of Phoenix for over 300 people, so we may want to work on finding them jobs throughout the city, because clearly they want work. But that just proves that the program's a success and that the word got out about how good it is. So I hope we can replicate the same partnership throughout the city with other programs. We are working on that. We have a second gardener program, obviously, that's kicked off in parks, and we're working the streets to look at programs there as well. So we're trying to expand it through the city, but it's just been a wonderful experience. I can't say enough good things, actually, without embarrassing John as well.
Thank you, Jen. And speaking of John, he's here right now. This is him out there on his training route doing the great work for the city. So I'd like to give John an opportunity to speak a little bit about his experience and what the apprenticeship's meant to him.
Thank you for the opportunity to come down here and talk. I'm sitting here to say that I completed the program, successfully completed the program, and it opened up my eyes. I never thought I would drive a truck like this. And with the help of the team that they set up, the trainers, I did. And I can't say how good they were. I mean, they were good. It's kind of, it was a great time. And with them training me with give me the right skills and tools, it was great. Excuse me, I'm just a little nervous right now.
That's all right.
But I would like to say thank you for the opportunity, and this means a lot for me and my family as well. And the doors are basically open for me here at the Public Works. A lot of people are moving up here, and I'm very happy that I'm here.
And we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have questions? I think this has been a marvelous opportunity for the city and everyone involved. I remember when we had the kickoff down there and people involved, and everyone was enthusiastic then, but now you are so successful, and it has been a cooperative effort, which Phoenix is known to do, and we love being a leader. Being first in the country is always a big deal for us. So, and Mario, I really know that transportation has trouble getting people with CDLs and retaining them. Are you looking to expand into this, something similar to this?
Yes. Chairwoman Williams, members of the subcommittee, yes, the Streets Department is also working on a similar program and wanting to do a similar apprenticeship program as what Public Works has done with Unit 1. And we've begun those discussions and still have a ways to go, but that's coming.
Good. I mean, it sounds like a great opportunity for our entire community, whether it's finding a job, creating a job, or increasing skills. It only benefits all of us. So, Councilwoman?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for going through the program. You don't understand how important your job is. If someone calls my office and they haven't had their trash picked up, oh boy. We take a lot of stuff we do in the city for granted, because seamlessly you come and you serve us, and I really, really commend you for going through the program, and thank you, and welcome to the city of Phoenix.
Councilman?
Well, I mean, great job. I really appreciate that. Our city staff, Ginger, everyone was just open-minded on the city side to try something like this. And for a long time, and I believe one of the true drivers of this program is Jennifer here, who, you know, she does talk a lot. She does talk fast, and she's so energetic, and she's going on. But the first time we talked about this, and you were sharing this with everyone, you had this vision, and this is very much part of your leadership is all over this. And you're doing great things, not just in a place like San Francisco, but, you know, obviously for Phoenix, for the people of Phoenix, specifically people who are able to create this, have this great job with this, and it is an awesome responsibility, right? People are depending on you, but you know, chance to live in this great city and contribute and raise your family, and all of this is for you. And so it's incredibly exciting, and but I you know, this driving force, you know, Jennifer, and the members of LIUNA 777. I just want to thank everyone for being part of this, because this is what it's all about. And to say that, you just mentioned, and Ginger only knows one way, right? She knows only how to do it one way, which is, to really do it great and put us on the map and see the things that, and team, excuse me, but with Reimagine Phoenix and everything else. But, this is truly what it's all about. This is how everyone can work together between the public sector, the private sector, obviously the city and so on, but we're all in it together. And this is a great display of that. So it's very exciting. Congratulations.
Vice Mayor?
I just want to say this is really the legacy of Mayor Lee and him really wanting to expand his vision and us having the opportunity and working with the mayor for it to happen within Phoenix. And the other testament about it, and I think this is critical at our state and time, is that working families are getting quality jobs or being able to be trained in quality jobs to continue having our working families move forward. And this is a testament really for me on how a city honors our also labor unions in coming together and figuring out how do we move forward collectively together. And there's always negotiations, but to me, it's about how do we work together collectively? Because at the end of the day, every one of us wants everyone to have a quality life. And a quality life means to provide for your family, to be able to retire and have an income, to be able to live. And so I believe as a city, as a role model, we have demonstrated that. So I thank all of those that were part of this. I thank all of those that are going to be part of it for the future, because I really, truly think this is a model for other departments to open up and provide these opportunities for our employees. So really appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you to my colleagues for advocating for it.
Any last comments, Ginger?
Chairwoman and subcommittee members, just would like to say thank you for your support of this program and leadership. And then again, thank you to the team represented here today, with Felipe, Dave, Jennifer, and thank you, John, for being with us here today.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to having you come back next year with hopefully even greater numbers. I'm hoping that we can find more than 7 next time. Because you definitely have a pool to pick from.
Yeah.
300, so amazing. Good job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now we'll have public comment. So I'll try for Eric Nielsen again. It was a test before to see if you were getting ready.
That's all right. I think I was born ready. Not quite my height. Hold on.
There you go.
All right, thank you. Hi, I'm Eric Nielsen. My company's Downtown Phoenix Computer. We DBA another company called Downtown Political Consulting. I got involved with Mayor Stanton and learned how accessible city government actually is to the citizens, and helped him win by a landslide. So I hope he does well where he's going next. I haven't decided who my company's going to endorse in the next election, but I would just point out there was 3 women here who've had to deal with stuff their whole life trying to make it, and they were all here early and on time. And we have a person here who's clearly the best candidate, but he's in danger of getting outworked or, beaten by some advertising. So I'd like to point that out.
Please be careful, because
yeah, I know, but
someone gets
as far as
focused on
this goes, what I
politics.
can is public comment. I have like 2 minutes. As far as this goes, they should be putting plugins on city buses, possibly bus stops. You can do it solar. That way people, young kids who are lost, maybe can turn on their phone, call their parents. So that's one idea I have for you guys. And as far as the rest of what you're talking about, some of those people, you kept going back to the stakeholders. Everyone's going back to the stakeholders. Some of those people are important and good people, but if you just go and Google the Phoenix 40, you'd realize that APS is the devil. CAP is good people, so you got to be careful who your accounts are with. But contractors are good people. You just got to do the math and some research. But I'd like to thank you for your time. I'm sorry if I got off topic, and God bless the city of Phoenix. I think we really are number one in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any future items you'd like to see put on the agenda?
No, because we have a heavy agenda next month.
That's true. So I want you here early. No, I'm just kidding. Anyone? Hearing none, we're adjourned.